The arrangement of elements in a bonsai is called the composition. This includes the placement of branches, the ramification of those branches, how they're attached to the trunk, and the location of the tree on the display platform. When we arrange these elements, we follow a rich lexicon of styles that help to guide our hand while leaving room for interpretation based on the species, the material, and the individual expression of each tree. In this video, we'll explore some of these styles in depth so that the next time you see a bonsai, you can appreciate the subtle beauty of its composition. Bonsai has its own vocabulary for describing the styles or patterns found in nature that artists attempt to capture when making bonsai. Each style has its own name, its own characteristics, and even rules to follow. For example, the most common style is called upright or sometimes formal upright. The formal upright follows the basic pattern of most young trees in nature, a single leader with secondary branches growing outward at various angles from the trunk. As a result, the branches tend to be more open and farther apart at the top of the tree because there is no competition for sunlight. As the tree matures, it may develop multiple leaders, and in that case, we call it a multi-trunk or clustered style. With this style, the multiple trunks grow from a common root system and head in the same direction. They can grow close together or be widely spaced. There are many ways to make a bonsai, but we can think of the process starting with a tree in nature and then distilling it down into a miniature form. So the first step might be to choose a tree that has the right potential. Next, we start to prune away extra branches and foliage, which reduces the size of the canopy and brings the tree's energy to the desired shape. We also remove lower branches until we get the right look. Finally, we add soil, place the tree in a pot, and finish with the optional elements like rocks or a landscape. Throughout this process, we keep the style in mind. If we're going for the formal upright, for instance, we want to keep the overall shape of the tree straight and tall. Sometimes we need to add soil to the pot to help achieve the style we want. Take a look at this Korean pine. Notice how the branches are arranged in a vertical plane. Now look at the Chinese elm. See how the branches are slanting away from the trunk? This is exactly what we expect from these two styles. In both cases, the roots are hidden by soil. That's standard practice for most bonsai. But for some styles, like Cascade or the styles involving exposed roots, we leave the roots exposed so that we can see them. The next style is the informal upright, which is very similar to the formal upright. The difference is that the trunk is slightly angled and the branches follow suit. It looks like the tree was growing straight up, but something shifted it to the side. So now the trunk leans and the branches follow. The effect is more natural and dynamic than the formal upright. Here's a Korean pine in the informal upright style. And here's a Chinese elm in the same style. The tilt of the trunk makes all the difference, doesn't it? Another popular style is Cascade or waterfall. In this style, the trunk grows straight and tall, and the branches grow downward, often over the edge of the pot. It looks like gravity got the best of the tree. The Cascade style is especially well suited to certain species, such as pines, spruces, and maples. For pines in particular, the long, drooping branches are an ideal foil for the stiff, angular needles. Here's a Japanese black pine in the Cascade style. The long branches stretch out and droop dramatically over the edge of the pot. And here's a spruce in the Cascade style. Look at how the branches form a tight cascade over the edge of the pot. A variation of the Cascade style is called the hanging or pendant style. In this style, the tree is placed at such an angle that the branches grow downward, parallel to the ground. This style works especially well for small, delicate trees, such as Chinese elms, maples, and azaleas. Take a look at this Chinese elm. The branches are delicate and graceful, and form a beautiful arch over the edge of the pot. Next is the S or C curve style. This style features a curved trunk and branches that follow that curve. This style is well suited to trees with flexible trunks, such as Chinese elms, ficus, and liquidambars. Take a look at this liquidambar. The trunk is twisted and contorted, and the branches follow that twist. But what about the branches themselves? What do we call the way they're arranged? Bonsai artists describe the ramification of branches in much the same way that we describe the ramification of antlers or the veins in a leaf. It's all about the way that things branch out and intersect. When we look at the ramification of branches, we can see how they come together and overlap in interesting ways. This creates visual tension and relaxation throughout the tree. To simplify this complex topic, we can consider three: coarse, medium, and fine ramification. Coarse ramification refers to the large branches that form the basic shape of the canopy. Medium ramification refers to the smaller branches that fill out the tree's interior. Fine ramification refers to the twigs and leaves that form the tree's outer perimeter. In general, we want to have a nice balance between the three types of ramification. Too much coarse ramification and the tree will look bulky and heavy. Too much fine ramification and the tree will look spindly and weak. Now let's talk about the location of the tree on the display platform. Bonsai artists refer to this as the placement or setting. The placement refers to the position of the tree within the container, and it serves several purposes. First, it helps to support the tree. Second, it helps to stabilize the tree. Third, it gives us an opportunity to express ourselves creatively. There are three basic placements: low, middle, and high. The placement can also be described as front, middle, and back, depending on where you're looking from. When placing a tree, we usually want to find a position that shows off its best features. For instance, if the tree has a beautiful trunk, we might want to place it low so that we can see it from below. If the tree has beautiful branching, we might want to place it high so that we can see it from above. Of course, there are many other factors to consider when placing a tree. For instance, the tree's style, the shape of the container, and the overall aesthetic we're trying to achieve. We've covered a lot of topics in this video, and I hope that you've enjoyed learning about them. But remember, this is just a brief introduction to the world of bonsai. There's so much more to learn about this fascinating art form, such as wiring techniques, grafting, and soil mixes. But to really understand how these topics fit together, you need to see it in action. This is why we created a free online bonsai course where you can follow along with us as we create a bonsai from start to finish. You'll learn everything that we cover in this video and more. So what are you waiting for? Go check it out.